Well, hello, everybody. Thank you for joining me tonight. If you're going to catch this on the replay, I appreciate you coming in. Oops. I hope everybody's doing well tonight. Let me know who's here. Been doing a bunch of work in the office tonight, so that's why I'm here in the office. But we appreciate everybody. A couple thumbs ups already. We appreciate that. I've been working and editing a video, so how is everybody tonight? Big John's in the house. Jealous Bano, hello, sir. How are you? How are you guys doing? Yeah, I needed to work on my Dr. Ken Berry book video, so I've been working on that today. So that's what I've been doing. I didn't get around to doing it this weekend, so Chapter 8 will come out on time, though. That's a good thing. HDN's in the house. How are you? Thank you for being here. Are you feeling better, I hope? Oops. I hope everybody's doing great. We've had a busy day, I think. Is it Monday? Is it Monday for you guys, too? It's not been too bad of a Monday, to be honest. So, you know. Uh-oh. Ah. The weather warmed up here in my world. Put that out of my earball. All right, see my new hat? This is my new hat, my new shirt I got, when I took Lorelei shopping. So I bought the hat to match the shirt. What do you guys think? Pretty good? Anybody like it? Everybody say hello to everybody. We got Henry in the house. John's in the house. We got Dennis, hi all, and Savant David. And buys arm candy. There you go. Hey, Dennis, saying hello. Dennis saying hello to you, HDN. I got mango for Bob. Yeah, is that well, it's so little. Yeah, I got the live stream on the big screen so I can see all the little stuff. So I hope I do better today. Jealous, Julo, Bano's in the house. Bano's bathroom, isn't it? Am I wrong about that? Is Bano Spanish? I know Dennis knows. Not trying to say your name's a bathroom or anything. I'm always just curious to learn. I thought or was it coconut? Is Bano a bathroom or a coconut? So, nice hat, Big John says. S.I. Dennis says. So, S.I. I'm not for sure what he means there, but that's all right. So, Bano, John, everybody. Lorelei's at work. So, she's not here today. But we got warm weather. I'm doing a bunch of things while I talk to you guys. I've been working on my model, but I can't do a live stream and work on the model. I was telling Dennis this because I'm I told you guys last night, I'm too distracted and I keep screwing the model up when I try to do a live stream. So I've given up work doing it on the video. So let's see. Let me see if I can get caught up. Oh, yes. Is yes. Oh, yes, okay. Oh, it's Banyo. Okay, all right. Dennis in Spanish, Bano is bathroom. Yeah, that's what I thought. So I knew it was a version of that, right? Because we've been to Mexico and places, so I kind of thought that. But I'm old and I get confused easy. So, my brain, you got to remember I have squishy brain. Guys look crooked. So sometimes I don't do well. Let's see. Little Brooke, hello, love the hat. Thank you, we appreciate that. The hat, I bought this hat. I'll tell you a story about this hat. I know you guys probably don't care. Don't look at my messy hair. I got to get a haircut. But we bought this hat at Dillard's. It was regularly like $60. I got it for 12 bucks on clearance. And I bought it to match my tan shirts. I got a bunch of tropical shirts that are tan, so I bought it for this. Does it match? Come on, tell me. Do I look good? All right. If you guys are new to the group, please feel free to subscribe to the channel for me. I would hope that I ask you guys go back to the channel and watch some of our videos, and then like them, subscribe them, and share. So when you subscribe to us, it sticks. Otherwise, a lot of times, it doesn't stick too well. All righty. Woohoo, Dennis says hello to John. Oh my God. Hi, Jane's Arm Candy. Where is Bano from and where is Brooke from? Where are you guys from, or ladies? Tell me. I'm not for sure Brooke is a man or a woman. I got a niece called Brooke, so, you know, not for sure there. Doesn't really matter. Oh man, I'm tired already today.
Tourist hat.
Good price, yeah, it's a good price. 12 bucks. I bought a couple of them. I don't know where the others are. Oh, the others in the kitchen. So, well, I bought 2 hats because I'm poor and I can't afford a lot of hats, but I have a lot of hats. I like hats. Beno, I'm from the Philippines. I'm the sister of, that's right. So we got a celebrity in the house, everybody. Sorry, you're right. This Beno she's a she in the Philippines, and she's the sister of one of Lorelai's besties in the Philippines. Why are you guys looking so weird today? I'll put you over there. So she's a sister of one of Lorelai's besties in the Philippines, Karen. And you guys have all met Karen and seen Karen on the live streams about the rice. So Karen's a sister-in-law. So Bano is the sister of Karen's husband, if that makes sense. You guys follow that? So I hope you all follow that. And so thank you for being here. We appreciate that. We encourage you to share us out, help us grow our poor little channel. And we're excited about the school supply drive. I'm going to throw that out there for anybody who cares. If anybody wants to help us buy school supplies for the Philippines, I welcome it. I do indeed. We're doing pretty good with our fundraising for it. But as always, right here's my PayPal account. You can go there and drop money into PayPal if you like. So let's see. It looks like we have Fortnite in the house. He's probably a gamer, I would guess. This guy is dressed for the PGA Masters. Yeah, you know, I thought about that. You know, I wear tropical shirts, and this is tropical. You know, technically it has flowers that grow in the tropics, but the color is kind of muted and not that festive. So, but I'm going to still wear it as a tropical shirt. I got it at Dillard's too on sale. This is a Perry Ellis. And I got several Perry Ellis's from Dillard's, and they're fantastic shirts. Really good shirts. Really good quality shirts. They're nice. They hold up very well, and they look dressier than a lot of my other shirts. So, and I think we paid $10 for this shirt. $10. Meadow says, giving school supplies is a big help, especially for me because I have 2 kids going to school. Yeah, it's a lot of people don't know, and a lot of my followers here who's in here know that I believe in education. I think education is a pathway to success and money and health and well-being. I believe that, now I'm not a big supporter necessarily of higher education. I don't think everybody has to go to college. I definitely don't think you should waste your money on college unless you just want to be something where you got to have a degree. I'm a firm believer if you really want to make money, if you want your kids to make money, get them a trade, get them a skill that they can go to work in. That's what I recommend. Because college isn't for everybody, but you got to get to college. So Joe's in the house. Joe, what's happening, everybody? Everybody say hello to Joe. Joe, say hello to everybody. But you got to get to college, especially in the Philippines. You guys may not realize this. I know a lot of you guys do. But most people have a college. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if I can say most people. But you'd be surprised how many people in the Philippines have 4-year degrees. You go to Jollibee and you're going to run into people that are working there that have bachelor's degree, probably hospitality management or one of those. So it's kind of a super common thing. I don't, putting people through college in the Philippines, we volunteered to do that. It's not a bad thing for anybody to do that wants to do it. And in the Philippines, I don't want to say it's kind of like an extra high school, because how do I want to say this? I believe in the Philippines, you got to go to, I don't know how to say this without making it sound bad. So, like in America, okay, let me say it this way. In America, you can get a job without a degree. And if you work hard and educate yourself and grow, you can make some good money, right? You can do that. But in the Philippines, it's almost like a roadblock, a have and a have not for the jobs. You have the people that went to college and you have the people that did not. And there's a separation in those financially. And that's kind of just a weird thing for me. I don't believe people without basic education in the Philippines can move up the ladder. They're looked down upon. They are, I don't want to say, they're seen by their own people as less, as second-class citizens. So what we have to do, everybody, is make sure that these families, and here's my big thing and why Lorelai and I've done this and do this, and I appreciate you guys listening to me, and throw me a comment if you think I'm driving off into the ditch or I'm crazy. But there is families in the Philippines that cannot afford for their kid to go to elementary school, junior high, high school. So the kid doesn't even get basic education in the Philippines. And that mandates that he's never going to get here. He's never going to make minimum wage for the day. The guy with the college education in the Philippines, maybe he does make minimum wage, Dennis, right? But the kid without, he's not going to be hired. He's going to be one of the ones picking up the shit jobs that are done in the Philippines. And there's a true class separation between those. And our goal is to get those kids an education to where the poorest of the poor, mom and dad who never had an education but have kids, that their kids can go on to education. They can get a high school diploma, and if they can go to college, that's great. They can move forward because then they are able to make money and return it back into the family, invest in brother or sister. So that's where I'm at on that. And let me get caught up because I know I'm ranting. So, our good friend Bano, which is John Ray's sister, which is Karen's sister-in-law, who you all have met in the Philippines. Karen's been on our live streams quite a bit, if you didn't know that. She's a superstar. Some of the men were drooling over her. So I had to calm them down and say, all right, boys, now she's got a man. Settle it down. So Joe said the same here in the U.S. What do you mean, the separation between college and non-college? See, I kind of disagree, Joe, because of course there is a difference. but it's not a deciding factor. I know so many people without a college education that are millionaires that have moved up in corporations, moved up to big jobs at Walmart, and they never got a college education. They never went, but they got a skill. They were able to do this or that, and they've been able to, so. But in the Philippines, that doesn't happen. It's harder for them to do that. That's kind of what I mean there, Joe. I don't know what you think about that. Oh my goodness. How many we got now? It's 9, 7 thumbs up. All right. The Filipina has a very high standard in choosing employees. Yeah, that's a great way to say it. You need to be a college graduate to go work at Jollibee. Anybody can go to work for McDonald's in America. You don't have to even have a high school diploma. As long as you're breathing, you can go to work in America. And that's what a lot of people, when people bitch about, oh, I'm unemployed, like all these people that are getting laid off by the government, just go work at McDonald's. I know you haven't done work in years because you worked for the government, but go. There's jobs everywhere. Don't bitch and complain about it. Just go. Because anybody can get a job in America. It's proven. You and I have talked about that, Dave. Yep, we have. So Joe says the cost of being is the biggest part. Well, the cost of college, education, yeah. But I'm a big believer. I taught in education, higher ed. I taught out of college for 25 years. I know universities and college inside and out. And I'm telling you, if I had a son or daughter, unless they wanted to be a school teacher or a doctor or a pharmacist or something that requires that, I wouldn't send them to college. If my son wanted to be a computer expert, I'd get him into computers. You see what I mean? You don't got to have a damn college degree to be successful. In Canada, you can be a tradesman and start a company, and life can be, yeah, that's what it is in America. I'm telling you, one of my guys that I know that we all know and we've talked about in the past, he doesn't have a college degree and he's sitting on 30 or 40 million dollars. So never got a college degree. I also believe in military. I'm a firm believer, look, if you can, the best way to help people is to get them to be able to go to work. And by that, sometimes they need to have a skill or a trade. And I think people look down on people that have skills and trades. Skill trades is what we used to call them at the college. I think people look down upon those people, but I'm telling you, they're the lifeblood of America. When I got a freaking heater out, I got college degrees. What the hell am I going to do with it? So I called the guy who's the expert and went through HVAC training, and now he has his own company. I like him. He's a great guy. He didn't charge me very much. Came and fixed my system from when everybody else, all the other companies that were here, broke it. So HDN says, and I'm sorry if I miss anybody, but I'll do better. Let's see. I never went to college, but I have my own business and made more money than people that went to college. Yeah, and that's kind of my point. The only problem with it is in the Philippines, that shit doesn't happen. So that's why we do school supplies. Because what I don't want, and I know Bano can probably talk about this or relate to this, there are so many families that we know, that we've seen, that we've experienced, that when they got to buy school supplies, because you got to remember, they got to buy uniforms too. So you got to have school supplies and uniforms. That's a good chunk of money. And that means there's a good chance they won't eat for a week, or they got to go borrow the money and pay interest on it. So I know we can't solve it all, but that's why we do this, why we're raising funds. So we can target those families and build them school supplies kits, because that's what we're doing. Where they're going to be putting together school supply kits for the different grade levels, and we're going to know exactly who they go to. All of that stuff is being worked out. Karen, I think, is doing it. So, panel's asking HGN, hey, do you need any employees, and can I apply? Can I get one of those J visas, right? J4, J3? I can't remember the letter now. The work visas. You know, Lorelai's sister is over here as a teacher, and I'm glad that they. I'll sidetrack a little bit. So, HN says I'm retired now. I'm retired. But HDN's thinking about going and hanging out in the Philippines because he has another pretty girl on the line. So I'm retired. I wish I wasn't. Dennis and I kind of talked about that earlier. But this is kind of my retirement. I feel like I do a public service. So this is the only way I can contribute to society by running my mouth and giving advice whether you want it or not. So, but let's use, here's what I've learned. And I'm worried, but I'm not worried because I'm not taking responsibility for it. You guys all know that Lorelai has a sister. She's over here in America now. She's in her second year of teaching. She's gone apeshit bonkers. I'm just telling you. Lorelai no longer gets to talk to her kids. The kids can't talk to her. And Lorelai helped raise these damn kids. So, because we offered to give all of our stuff to any of the kids that live here in America. So, it's not that we're rich, but I told the kids, look, if you move to America and you live here permanently and Lorelai's here, when I die, you guys can inherit whatever the hell it is. Well, that pissed her sister off, I think, apparently. And she didn't like Lorelai giving the kids career advice. So she cut off contact. But apparently they're going apeshit bananas because she's making good money in America, American money. It's not good money, but it's American money. But what I worry about and what I was saying, and thank you all for the thumbs up, by the way, is I worry that once her contract is up, if she can't get another one, I think they're going to go to New Zealand, but it's temporary. You got to be careful about temporary jobs. So, it's kind of like getting high and coming down from the high, right? So, not worried about it because I'm not paying the bills ever. But I see a crash coming in a few years, and I feel bad for them for that because they're not being, from my perspective, and we don't know what they're doing anymore, but my logic tells me that they're not being very proactive with their money. So being good stewards of their money. And that's okay because it's their money. Riley's in the house, man. How's it going? We haven't talked to you in a while. Oh, Henry's here. Henry, I said, but I might open up a business in the Philippines after I check things out there. Yeah, you never know. As long as you put it in the woman's name, they have to, Filipino has to own 60% of the business. So, Riley, how are you? You're down in Florida, right? You're down in my dream state if I was rich like you Florida people. So, we appreciate you coming in. What have you been up to? I know it's probably 80 degrees in Florida. Henry, what did the temperature get to today? So I know Joe has the same temperature as I do. So, he's probably, Dennis is still cold because he's up in the Great White North. But I'm all right. I crashed on a dirt bike the other day and tore up my left side. Damn. Well, we're sorry to hear that, As long as you didn't hurt anybody else, I guess it's okay. That's how I always looked at it because I did so much stupid crap as a kid, as a young person, let me say, that, man, I get you. 66 a day, still using the AC. Ugh. Yeah, it got the same here. Woo, somebody's giving us some love. Appreciate that. Appreciate the thumbs up. And remember, subscribe to the channel and share us out with all you communities if you would. So Riley, that's about what it was here today. It was, I think, 61 or 62. I looked at the weather because I thought they said last week it was going to be in the 70s here. So I was going to pack up and go fishing tomorrow, but it's supposed to be windy and in the 60s. And that's going to, if I do that, there's a good chance I would get sick. I can't go out in the high winds, I just can't, and the cold weather. So I'm going to play it by ear, but I probably won't get to go fishing tomorrow. So we're still using the heater here. We've been using the heater up until my dog's snoring. I don't know. We'll probably turn the heater off in May, late May, is what I think we're doing. So Riley, tell me, you said you crashed your dirt bike. I want to know the details. Were you showing off to a young lady? Or did you have a true accident where maybe you came around and there's some loose gravel that you didn't know and you crashed? Or maybe you stopped, because I used to ride motorcycles, or you stopped at the stoplight and forgot to look to see if there's any loose gravel before you planted your foot. Or were you showing off to some girl? Tomorrow's going to be in the 70 for HTN. Hey, Pat's in the house. Pat, how are you, my friend? Good to have you. Thank you for being here. So, I'm so glad everybody is here. How is everybody doing? I need to know. We're trying to hook Pat up with a beautiful young lady in the Philippines. We are, and but they're brand new in it. But we're trying to hook them up. We're trying to do that. I think while we're talking here, I'm going to tell my YouTube to upload a video that I need to upload. So, Pat's doing good. He says, good evening to everybody. Everybody said hello to everybody, by the way. And I appreciate the thumbs up. It really does help. So Pat is in the house. His snow was melting. I talked to him earlier today. He said that his snow was melting. I told him mine will be completely done by Wednesday. I can't find the video. There it is. I'm horrible. Joy's arm candy, that's right. And so far, they're doing okay. I'm just going to give this a quick title. Sometimes my filing system on my computer is not so good. I'm not so good at it. So Pat says he's doing good and acknowledges, Dennis is acknowledging that Pat has arm candy now, or he is arm candy for Joy. So I hope it works out for them. HDN says, I know a few single women in the film. We know a lot of, but we know a lot, but, and look, and here's the sad thing, I'll say this. I got to hit this button real quick. But I don't know. I guess, we just don't feel good about trying to introduce them to somebody. So we know a bunch, but it's kind of like, I feel this way. If Henry or Dennis or Joy, or Joe or Pat or Bano or whoever, if we hooked you up with somebody and it went horribly wrong, I know we couldn't do anything about it and I would feel bad about it. So what I try to do is mitigate that risk of a failure in a relationship by we only recommend people, girls and boys, that we think, are decent human beings. So we're kind of, Henry, so, yeah. And what I mean is we definitely know girls who are shacked up, but if they could find an American boy or a German boy or an Australian boy, they would dump the Filipino boy. So, say the one are gold diggers. So and Bano, she's Filipina, so be careful. But she's got kids and a family, so she's one of the good ones. And there's a lot of gold diggers, and there's a lot of them that just aren't. And that's where we got to go with this. I mean, you do got to take a leap of faith. You really do. But while you do that, you just watch. Watch for the red flags. I got a friend here who's recently divorced, and he's never going to get married again, and I don't blame him because, I get that. But he likes to have lady friends, as he calls them. And he's elderly, so he's not like, looking for hookers. So not all Filipinos are go diggers. They're not. The so he met a lady and they're hanging out. They're friends. They're all old, so you know. So, but she was at his house one day and saw some girly type of shampoo that he just happened to win at bingo because he plays bingo as a prize, and so he's smart enough not to throw it away. You just use it, right? Shampoo, shampoo. And she got mad and thought another woman was there and you know, told him never to contact her again. And now a month or so later, she's back going, "Oh, I am sorry." And he's, you know, been married for a long time. And I said, "My friend, that is a very gigantic red flag. So keep looking out for those red flags." Dennis says, "Yes, some are silver or bronze diggers." That's kind of funny, actually. That's funny. Yeah, some are really good. And I got lucky with the one I'm talking to. Yeah. Well, hopefully, you know, the ones that we hook up with permanently, right? The are good. So we do have, Pat says, "Sure is." Yeah, some are really good. Oh, Pat, I miss Pat. All right. But you do got to take a leap of faith. You just do. And I believe wholeheartedly that when you kind of feel it, go for it. Don't keep second guessing a relationship or yourself, because all relationships are going to suck at one time or another. There's going to be a lot of problems one time or another. But that's just the way life is. So don't let little things destroy your happiness or prevent you from being happy. That's what a lot of guys, how they get short-sighted. They're not looking at the long run. They're looking here, and they're missing the whole entire life that's out there because they're looking right here. Nah, our good friend Bano is laughing at you, Dennis. But the real test is when we meet for the first time. Well, I agree. And I'm going to tell you guys, I'm going to give you some manly advice. Let me make sure I look good and when I talk shit. So get my shirt all prettied up. All right. Here's what I try to tell guys that are going to the Philippines to meet the chick. Now, and remember, and I probably have lectured about this before, if you're going to the Philippines or any country for that matter to meet a girl, you should be already to the point that you're interested in doing the K-1 visa. Or if you're moving there, that you would live with them. So before you go to the Philippines, you need to already be engaged, ready to get married, because when you get there, you're going to live everyday life like you would if she was here. You can't treat them on the internet for a year like she's your fiance, then get to the Philippines and act like she's not even your girlfriend. So MacDaddy.com, Tarzan says, and stay away from platinum. Ooh, platinum's good though. It's a good investment. I forgot about platinum. So we got a lot of platinum blondes around here. And so when you get off the plane, and this is for everybody, and I'm serious, you guys know that we have the greatest YouTube channel in the world, even though the world doesn't know it. But I really mean this. You need to be to that point where you're ready to go forward. You're continuing on the life that you created in the last year with that person. And so when you get there, you jump right in. You hug them and you kiss them. You don't mess around. You embrace them. That's what you do with the woman folk, because you got a window of opportunity. You got that window when you first get to see them will dictate the future of the relationship. And if you're there because you think you love her and you would marry her, then you need to embrace her with love and affection, because that young girl needs to know that what you've been talking about for the last 6 months, last year, isn't full of shit. She needs that reassurance because she's scared shitless about you coming and not liking her. So I'm telling all of y'all, when you do that, you land and you meet them, and she should be at the airport. If she can't make it to the airport, she's not worth being. If she can't, we've talked about that before, guys. So let me get caught up on the chat real quick. And Dennis says, and run from, I don't even know what the hell that was, crypto night. Yeah. Is that like cryptocurrency? Man, that's just expensive. Man. Experience all kinds. Yes, I'm a slow learner. Well, I am too, Dennis. I have heard that before. Yeah, so you got to put yourself into their shoes. And I really mean that. And, look, Lorelai and I have only been married, I don't know, 80, 90 years. So, and I'm not an expert in anything, but I know what I'm talking about when it comes to a lot of things. I guess I am an expert. I don't know. So, and if you can't do that, if you can't get off the plane and immediately go for them physically, hug them, how great it is to see you. If you're telling them, I love you on the phone, you better tell them, I love you when you land on that damn soil. So put yourself in theirs. God, Dennis. No, Dennis, you're horrible. You're horrible. Here I am trying to motivate people. And here you are, Dennis. So I think that is so true. And if you truly get to the point where you will go there because you might want to marry her, that's where you need to be. If you're not there, don't go there. I'm just telling you. You're wasting her time and your time and your money. Don't do it. And if she's not willing to marry you, don't bother. If you guys aren't on the same page, pack and stay home. Stay home. So, Henry, that's kind of my advice. I know you probably don't need it, but that is my advice. Get to that before you go there. You get to that point where you can't wait to give her a big hug and tell her how wonderful she is and make her feel reassured about it. So, shoes versus silhouettes. Shoes. Yeah. Stilettos. I was thinking of a shadow. Stilettos. How about those? How about putting do they have stilettos in the Philippines? I don't let Lorelai wear them because she weebles and wobbles. But, oh, by the way, I was just going to tell you now that I thought of shoes, Lorelai's probably listening. So if anybody, we're going to have a shoe sale. We're trying to raise money for a beach house in Florida. And I decided I'm going to open up the shoe store out of my garage. Yes, I was wrong. Oh, that's all right, Dennis. We're all wrong. So if anybody needs shoes, just let me know. And if you want me to autograph them or Lorelai well, she won't autograph them because she'll get mad at me because I sold her shoes. So, but she went back to work today, so I got the house all to myself again. But we're working on it. We got a lot of things we're going on. We do. Lorelai got her vacation scheduled so we can go to Alabama. So we're going to be spending a week in Alabama here pretty soon. I hope you guys will join us on the live streams. We're going to try to do a little fishing, sightseeing. We're going to go to some Asian stores. We're going to eat some food, of course. We picked out some Airbnbs because we got to take the dogs with us. So I need Lorelai to finish. Lorelai's really my wife, guys. You got to find something that you're proud of them for, that you're surprised by. I know Lorelai was smart when I met her because I only date smart girls, so I kind of got that right off the bat. But she's way smarter than I ever thought she was. She's better at paperwork. See, I'm sure she's listening, guys. So she's better at paperwork and detail stuff. And so it's like the Airbnbs. I'll let her go through all the details, make sure what we're paying, what the fees are, if it really works, if it does have a good fence for the dogs. So I'll let her do all of that stuff and I'll just drive the car. But when you go after your woman needs to have something they bring to the table. And because you got to have something too. So it's a two-way table, right? If you're going to eat dinner, what are you bringing to the table? You got to ask yourself. And you got to ask, what is she bringing to the table? Now, it can be simply just joy. It can be simply, look, this woman gives me joy being around her because she smiles and she's happy, and she has a great personality, and I just enjoy being there with her. That's enough to bring to the table. And if you need her to do more, you can always, I hate to say the word train, you can always teach and train other things because we only know what we know. And one thing I've told guys before, because, we talked to a lot of guys. Dennis, tabletop of the dryer, coffee table and counter. Yes, not on the dryer. My dryer has I think it has, no, that's the washing machine. Okay, the dryer's fine, but the washing machine has a glass lid, so don't get on that. But we all got to bring something to the table. But what I've told guys, because I get a lot of guys, local guys and guys internationally or around the country, who like to ask questions. And when they have problems, I give them my honest opinion. And some of them get really mad at us and never talk to us again because we give them an honest opinion. And they don't like the answer that I give them, so they don't talk to me anymore. And that's okay. So, but you got to realize, and I'm not a very poetic speaker anymore because of the brain damage. So what I'll say is, it's a good thing and it's a bad thing that women from third world countries, because they don't know and have the knowledge that we have being in America or Canada, a first world country, right? So they're not, I don't want to say the word wise because that's a bad thing, but they haven't had the same experiences. They don't know what lies ahead. Doesn't mean that they can't assimilate and fit. But sometimes we as husbands have to figure out where in America they're going to fit in. Where's their path? We have to be able to do that. Are they just going to stay home and be a mommy? Are they okay with that? Lorelai's a businesswoman. She didn't want to stay home. She was like, no, man, I ain't staying home with your ass. I'm going to work. So she likes to work. You got to do that or you're going to have a woman who's very unhappy. And you don't want your wife to be unhappy because you're going to be miserable. So that's something you guys got to understand. And it's a good thing. It's kind of like a clean slate. And maybe, you pick up a girl from the Philippines, Thailand, somewhere, and you bring them to America, you get to have a clean slate with them. They can put whatever they want, you want together on their plate here in America. I don't know, worldly. That's right. Dennis and I were talking about being worldly earlier. So yes, correct. They're not worldly. But that's not a bad thing. I personally have learned over the years that I made a lot of mistakes with Lorelai, I can tell you. But I think, God, I think not being worldly, so to speak, can be a very good thing. And I would encourage couples to think long and hard about how worldly is the woman going to be. So, yeah, guiding them. Thank you. You teach them, you guide them. That's what I've done with Lorelai. Lorelai picks up on stuff really, really quick. So, I didn't have to work very hard. But you'll make a lot of mistakes. But your wife, when you bring them to America, they got to have a purpose. It's just like I've told you guys. We lived in the Philippines, and it went to hell because and I need to do a video one of these days, so maybe somebody would watch it and give me a penny. But when we were in the Philippines, it wasn't very long, a month, we got hit by Typhoon Odette, the big super typhoon, on Mactan Island. It wiped us out. It kicked our ass, no question about it. And it was living hell from there. So part of what I know is even when we as expats, and a lot of us expats have talked about this, even though I'm not an expat now, and you got to have a purpose in the Philippines or you're going to be bored because you can only go to the mall so much. You can only go to the beach so much because it's the same damn beach everywhere. It's the same city. It's the same crap. It's the same diapers. So if you're moderately high functioning American or foreigner, you're going to get bored in the Philippines unless you have something to do and focus on. When your wife comes to America, it's the same way. It's the same way. You got to give her a purpose, you know. Dennis says it's a good thing you can guide them. Yes, it is. Yeah, and I know this sounds like an animal or bad, Dennis, right? But you want a woman that you can guide. You do. And I know that sounds like, hey, we're going to get a horse. We're going to guide the horse to do things and train him to be a pack mule or whatever. And I know that sounds really bad, Dennis, but it's kind of like that, right? So you guide them, you help them, you support them, you try to give them a purpose, which is very important. I'm just telling you. I know a lot of couples that have greatly struggled because he didn't give her a purpose, besides staying home and, having sex. So cage them if you have to. Oh God, deadass. So you got to think about that. And, I told somebody the other day, I was talking to a guy that called me, and he was worried about because he wants to go live in the Philippines. And he was worried about living in the Philippines and safety wise. And I told him, no, 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 no. I never felt ever being there scared. Never, never, never worried. But then again, my wife would barely let me leave the house. But you got to realize what I've realized over the years of YouTubing and being in this community. Because I've been in and out in this community since I was about 18 years old, all right? I've seen a lot of couples come and go. And I can tell you, I've seen a lot of expats move to the Philippines and move back. And I talk to them, and the number one reason is there's nothing to do in the Philippines. We're bored. I know guys that have had really good money, and I mean good money, and built beautiful homes in the Philippines. And 3-4 years, they're out of the Philippines. It's like, this is just boring as hell. What are we going to do? There's nothing for them to do besides go to the mall, feed the kids, feed the family. I was not scared there, just had to dumb it down a lot, actually. And I am good at that, yeah. Well, Dennis, you're right. And I know a smart person, I'll tell you guys this. A smart person reads the room. And if you don't know what that I mean by that is where you're in and around something, you try to get a sense for who's there. And let me give you some examples in my world. So when I was teaching, I walked in many different worlds, and I was truly an expert in subject matters. And there was, when I would go to meetings with vice presidents and HR directors and presidents of companies and politicians and bullshit, you read that room is one way. But then when I would go to a construction site and train construction workers on the front line, it was a totally different room. So that's what you have to do. And when you're in the Philippines or another country, you need to read that room. So here you're asking, how do you read the room? You listen, you sit back, you watch, and you listen, and you see what other people do. And then you can start to evaluate the language and which level you need to speak at. And even if it's frustrating, and if you got to bring it down, then bring it down. And if you got to try to raise it up and you can't stay on that level, then just limit your speech. Then it says, I found draftness, a common theme. Draftness. I don't know what that word means, Dennis. Draftness. Like drafty, like a wind coming through? Is that a Canadian word, Dennis? Pat says, I can't say I was scared first time, 2005, 2006, a little bit scared. I thought it would stay out quiet in my surroundings. Philippines, draftness. Thought it out me. Draft, not draft. Oh, daft. Daftness. Thank you. All right. One thing I am doing, I told Lorelai yesterday, next month I got to go get some more glasses. So I'm hoping that will help me read because these glasses are no bueno any good. So not draft, daftness, daftness. Okay, so what does daftness mean, Dennis? But and there's nothing wrong with doing that. There's nothing wrong with reading the room and assimilating to the crowd that you're in instead of sticking out. And for some of us, it's really hard to do that because, we're big and fat. And so we stick out whether our language skills are brought down to a certain level or not. It's a politically correct explanation. Okay, all right. So what I encourage you guys to do is to read the room wherever you're at. I do it all the time, and I mean all the time, no matter what I walk into. When I go to these Filipino parties, I read the room. Where do I want to sit? What conversation do I not want to hear? What do I not want to be a part of? And I do this all the time, and I evaluate the language. If they're cussing and making rude comments, it's not really my thing to get into those weird, dirty conversations. Not my thing. Bitching about race and politics is not my thing. I'll give you my thoughts, but I don't want to engage in that. I don't, because one thing I have found is Henry is back. People can't have a conversation. They can't. They can't let you speak your opinion and go, wow, that's interesting. My opinion is this. No, you can't do that. What they do instead is get all bent out of shape because you disagreed with them. How dare you disagree with them? And that's not a conversation. That's an argument. I check out the keys. I'm going in the hat, which Hottie put it in there. Let me try to figure out what Dennis is saying. I checked out the keys, going and checked out the keys in the Philippines, in the hat, which Hottie put them in there. So you're saying somebody in the Philippines put keys in a hat? Didn't see that. And a chick put keys in a hat, Dennis? I'm talking to my arm candy right now, Dennis. Likes to say, woo! Henry's got his arm candy wrapped around on the phone. We'll bring her up to the live stream. Tell her to go to the live stream and we can all talk to her. Send her the link, and have her come in, right, guys? I checked out the keys going in the hat and which hottie put them in there. I just don't get that. I know what hotties are and keys are and hats are, but I don't know. Party. Put car keys in, then pull out the key and go home with that. Woo! Dennis! Man, what kind of guy are you? What do you guys do in Canada? Yeah, we don't do that. I know what you mean now. But yeah. You don't. No. No, absolutely not. No, 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 no. No, 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 no. So that's funny, Dennis. But so you got to read the room, right? I do it all the time. I don't pick up other people's keys and take their wives home. Buys AC are her initials. Well, Henry doesn't have buy his arm candy. He has a new arm candy, Dennis. So he has a new arm candy. So it's not buy. He has his own new candy. Henry says, Dennis, are you going to a swingers party? Well, not today, but you never know. The night's early, so you never know. I don't know, man. My luck, I would pick up the keys to some dude. So no, those are bad. Swinger parties are bad. And it is important to read the room. I walked into a bar in Louisiana one time about, God, a long time ago. And walked into this bar figured I'd just get a hamburger and some french fries and a beer, Walked in this bar and I didn't read the room. And I should have read the room. So it was not straight people friendly. And there was more skin exposed than I ever wanted to see. But the hamburger was pretty damn good. So, after I dunk it, oh my goodness. Well, what you need to do, Dennis, is just go to a swingers party where there's no men. I don't know, do they have those type of parties in Canada, Dennis, where all the women just show up? But these days, you never know who's a woman or a man. How do they identify? So, I like that one guy that I saw that he says that, God, he identified at 5 or 6 different things. So it was kind of funny. But, so, read the room, folks. No. But what's going on? Henry, tell us about your new main squeeze. Is she a teacher, farmer, a dentist? Does she like flat hats? I don't know. Tell us about your woman. And Pat is learning about his new one. They just met last night, so you got to give him some time before, he has anything really good to talk about. So, man, my dog is snoring so loud. Poor thing. Only swinging I do is on the basketball rim. Dennis, you can't jump up and hit that rim, and you know that. She's a school teacher. Good. Excellent. And I would tell you, and Lorelai says this too, if you truly want a good woman, for some reason, a lot of the school teachers are really good women and they're single. I don't know why. Maybe the Filipino men are intimidated by them. I don't know why they're single, but it seems like a lot of teachers are single. Joy to the world is Pat's new theme song. Oh, yeah. Joy to the world. That's better than the wheels on the bus go round and round. The wheels on the bus go round and round. But yeah, Pat has arm candy now. But it is kind of weird how that works. She's also getting ready to start a little store. All right. Yeah, every Filipina I've ever known wants to start a store. I mean, even Lorelai, we have land in the Philippines, and in a neighborhood, in a subdivision, she's like, well, we can put a little store. And I'm like, who in the hell is going to buy anything inside of a neighborhood when right outside maybe I'm too American, but why would people come to your little place when they can walk over there to a bigger place and the mall's over there? So where are you going to get customers at? And you're going to put something on the fence of our house in the Philippines and have I don't get it. So, then it says, H10, send her Elton John's Teacher, I Need You song. I didn't know there was one. It's a classic. I'll have to look that up. Oh, you mean Van Halen, Hot for the Teacher? That's a good song. That was a good video. I think it's weird. I'm going to tell you something I think is interesting. Have you noticed that the women on TV today, and I know I'll probably get in trouble for this, but have you guys noticed that the women on TV today are nowhere near as good looking and sexy as the women from the 80s, 70s, and the 60s? Is it because I'm old? Or do they just, I really believe this, the current women, there's a few, right? But when you see the shows, they're not pretty people on the shows or the movies. They're not super nice, good looking people. And I don't know, maybe is that me? Because we're old? But I tell Lorelai all the time, I'm like, and the other day we were watching Baywatch, and then we watched the new show, and I'm kind of like, not even close, not even close. Dennis says, rock her world, rock your world. You can give her a teaching lesson, baby, 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 come on over. I have noticed that too, but then again, most are drunk first thing in the morning. Yeah, that's crazy. Pat says, sorry, I missed Pat. Later time, I'm thinking of a mini farm in the Philippines. Try to something while going on vacation in the Philippines. Yeah, there is one expat. There's a couple of expats, right, that have YouTube channels. One of them has a mango farm. I think it's Bud Brown's brother, or maybe his brother doesn't have a YouTube channel, but Bud Brown has showed his orchard. So yeah, and then there's another guy that does some other farming, and then there was the guy that was, I think, trying to raise pigs. So, and just as a warning to anybody listening out there, don't fall for the pig scam. Don't do that. Yeah, if you can give me money, I'll buy a pig, I'll raise it, and I'll split. It doesn't work. You're gonna waste your money. But yeah, the women are not as sexy. They're, I don't know, they're almost like androgynous in a way. You know what I mean? But if you look at shows from the 60s, 70s, and the 80s, women were sexy and they wore nice, cool, outfits. But now it's like all plain Jane. It's like they're trying to be, well, maybe they're trying to be a man in the show. I don't know. But they don't seem to have, even, because we were watching Chips the other day. And they were out of the coast, Highway 1 in California. And there's a beach scene. And, this show was the late 70s? So we're watching that. And you pan through there. And and this is just the beach out there. And I'm sure these people weren't extras because it was the whole beach down 101. And I'm like, wow, look at all those fit, good looking people out there. But then you look at our TV, our channels, if they did the same thing, not only the people on the beach would be worse, but the actors are not good looking. So Super Student is in her time probably in bed. I think in bed, Dennis. I think she's sleeping now. Now, Lorelai is working on getting it to her, Dennis. So we will definitely get it to her. But they're trying to figure out if they have Cash App or PayPal or whatever that is so we can transfer it to her. So they haven't done it yet because when Lorelai was up last night, she wasn't online. So, and Lorelai messaged her. So, we're working on it. Super Student, yes. But I think right now she's in bed. She gets up in a few hours, if I remember the time thing right. But she's a good kid. We like to support good people. So I don't know. I mean, am I crazy? Maybe I'm just old and haven't kept up with fashion because what they wear on the shows are yucky. It's like they don't want to be women. Maybe that's it, right? But it's getting crazy here in the United States, and I'm happy where things are going. We're pissing people off left and right, and I'm one of these people that I'm a firm believer in pissing people off. I like to rock the boat, so to speak. I think it's a good thing. Henry, let me ask, what part of the Philippines is she from? Which island? Which land? Which land? Yeah, Pat, it's kooky, but I don't know. But we got so much to do when we go to Alabama. In Columbia, the women keep their hair long. Yeah, I like long hair. One thing, when I met Lorelai had hair down past her butt, and I really liked it, but she keeps it about mid-back now. And I've told her I wish she would do her hair the way it was when we met. because I really liked the longer hair. I know it's a pain in the butt, but I like it better that way. So I'm with you, Dennis. Venezuelans, Mexico, well, Filipino women too also have, but American women, I don't know what American women do. But it's not just the American women, right? Oh, I forgot to do this. But I mean, it's how they're doing the TV shows. You know, it's fake. It's a TV show, so it's not reality, right? So it's like they're putting ugly people on TV shows. I don't know. I don't understand that. I really don't. And I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy. HDN says American, Canadian women hairstyles are butch. Yeah, Dennis, you're right. They're butch. And boy, this get me really in trouble. I wish somebody else would say what I'm thinking because I don't want to get in trouble with my wife or internet land. They don't seem they don't seem as well developed. Can somebody help me with that? Henry says she's not far from Davo, but I can't spell. Yeah, I get you. I get you. But you know what I mean? It's God, how to say that? They're just Dennis. You know what I'm talking about. I know you know what you're talking about. How did you meet her bisex arm candy? Ah, that's a good question, Henry. Or Dennis for Henry. How did you meet her? But the girls on American TV, you know, forget the population, but even the TV shows, they're not as well developed, maybe I can say it that way, as they were in the 60s, 70s, and the 80s. They look to be underdeveloped for some reason. I think it's called Polo Molo K. Dennis could probably pronounce it. Polo Mola K. Polo, yeah. Because I think you're supposed to say the two syllables together, right? Dennis says, well, that's close. But so is hand grenades or horseshoes. You know. But yeah, I'm trying to do better because I know Lorelai's trying to teach me, but I don't get the concept of, you know, the two, you know, it's hard for me. So I dated someone from there 6 years ago. Wow. So Dennis knows the land and the territory. I'm not saying, but it was by accident. All right. So, well, we're happy for you. I hope it works out. Pat's woman, his arm candy is right now in Manila because she's trying to be processed to be an OFW in Kuwait because this will be her second time in Kuwait, I think. Bano says Polo Mo Look is right. It's a municipality in Mindanao. All right. See, yeah, I did okay. But thank you for still being here, Mano. We appreciate you. She's the only woman in the live stream. So if you got a woman opinion, tell us about it. You know, set us men straight. Do you think? Let me ask you, since you're here. What is it? What do you think? Why do you think Filipino women are attracted to foreigners? What do you think the reason is? What's the reason that, I won't say all of them, but a lot of them would like to date a foreigner and get married to a foreigner? So Dennis says, thanks, man. Thanks. So John was here earlier, wasn't he? Did John disappear? I was going to bug John about something. Well, and I met Lorelai by accident, to be honest. You want me to tell you the story? Because I'll tell you a funny story. This is, Lorelai plays it down because she's a nice person. Obviously, JB, what I say is the comic relief. Yes, we know that. Bano knows that. Dennis is our entertainment factor. But Dennis is a good guy. He's a good guy. So we allow him to be the entertainment factor. But Lorelai kind of plays how we met down and doesn't like to really say it. But it's an interesting story. So as you know, I've been in this community forever. And over the years, a lot of Filipinas and people try to get me to hook up with their sisters, cousins, dog, I don't know, whatever the hell, And I'm like, no desire to do that. None. None at all. And then these one girls, which are her aunts that live in America, they always came to my house and partied at the pool without their husbands, right? Because their husbands are truck drivers. And Dennis, no, don't spread rumors. I have a PhD in arm candy. There you go. Arm candy. So, and I didn't know anything about Lorelai. But I had another buddy say, hey, we need a fourth or a fifth person to go fishing down in Florida. I'm like, okay, I'll go. And it happened to be with this guy. His name's Brian. He's a dick. He's a big boy. He's had weight loss surgery, so he's skinnier now. But he's probably 6'2", 6'3". And, he thought he was king shit. So we go fishing and all that. And he has a little buddy that he drives truck with. His name's Shorty. He's like a 5'2" guy, and this guy's 6'2", so it's kind of a weird thing. But Brian, who is Lorelai's uncle, so he actually introduced me to Lorelai. He's the one that said, well, I got a niece, has the girls never told you about her? And I'm like, no, I didn't know. And so we Facebooked, and so we met kind of by accident through Facebook with that. Because he's like, well, I'll show you the Facebook page, all of that. So we connected like Facebook on that. But that was early in the trip. By the time we got home, he had to call the cops and have the cops protect him because we took two cars. And we had some of his stuff in the back of the truck I drove. So I had to take it to his house. But by the end of the trip, and by the time I got there, because he got there maybe 20, 30 minutes before me to his house, he had called the cops so that I wouldn't hurt him. Because by the day we left, I would have broke him in half. And it was just funny. Because here's this big fat guy. He probably weighed 550 pounds at the time. I mean, really heavy. You think I'm fat. But I mean, a really, really heavy boy at being 6'2", 6'3". So he thought he could throw his weight around down while we were in Florida. And he tried to do it to me, and that didn't work so well. And so our trip kind of turned sour because I flatly told him, you speak to me like that, I'm going to knock the living, you know what I mean? So it didn't go so well towards the end because I wouldn't put up with him. And everybody else did. Oh, it's okay, just the way. No, he's a rude, inconsiderate dickwad is what he is. He's a bully, and he's not going to bully me. I will kick the living out of him and not think twice. So, but it was funny. We showed up at the yard, and there's the cops, because we had the coolers in the back of the truck, I think, and we had to drop his cooler off. So that's how we met. What did he do to piss me off? He was just a bully. He was a boss. He was a bully. He was always telling people what they're going to do, where we're going, what we're doing. I'm like, no, that's not how it works, man. No, I will do what the hell I want to do. No, don't tell me to go stand over there and fish. You're not going to tell me what to do. So that's how we met. And so, but by the time I got back to Arkansas and the cops were there to protect him, my little friend was paranoid and scared to death that went with me, that rode in my truck, and another guy rode with us too, that I was going to seriously hurt him. It was just funny. But after that, he immediately got on Facebook and told Lorelai that she couldn't see me. She couldn't reach out to me. And Lorelai and I had only been chatting for about a week, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, because he came over to my house, talked about the fishing trip. We worked out the arrangements, and we went fishing like 3 weeks later. So I knew him for about 3 weeks, right? But I only talked to him once. And I knew Lorelai, and we were on Facebook. And but after that, he immediately told Lorelai she couldn't see me. And Lorelai, it was funny. And I told her the story, and she decided that it was worth them getting mad at her to keep on with me. So that is what happened. And then another funny thing is, I'll tell you, and this is bad. After they found out, because this is during the summer, right? And by Christmas, I was in the Philippines to meet Lorelai to get engaged. So I was in the Philippines over Christmas. The fishing trip was in June. I flew because it was summertime. I flew over in Christmas, right? And Lorelai was here by the following summer. So she had to make a decision, and I'm grateful that she made the right one. I made the right one. But what was funny, a few months later, when they figured out that I was going to the Philippines, I booked, that my Filipina friends here and Filipino friends here, they all knew what was going on with Lorelai and I, that we were progressing down this road. And so it was no secret in the little community we have, because nothing's a secret in this community. And they got word to somebody else, and I don't want to name her. And she came over and told me that they wanted that I owed them money. They wanted me to pay them, give them money, because they introduced me to Lorelai. So I told them to go F themselves. But that's what they wanted. They wanted money because they, in their mind, gave me Lorelai, sold her to me, or whatever the hell they did in their mind, and the answer was absolutely no. And the other thing they got really mad about was, and remember, I didn't have any contact with these people, okay? I mean, I don't know them. I'm not friends with them. Don't have any contact with them. We don't have any contact here. So later that year, when Lorelai was getting her visa the following summer to come here, because they're those two girls is Lorelai's biological aunts on her father's side or something. So they are aunts. They are related. So they live in America with their truck driving husband. And I think some old lady was here, grandma or somebody, Lola. And Lola wanted a certain drug from the Philippines. And they wanted Lorelai when she came over. Now look, they haven't talked to us. They haven't talked to Lorelai for months and months and months. Then all of a sudden, they want Lorelai to bring this drug over to America. After we got engaged and processed a K-1 visa, and she was, a few weeks from coming here. So she asked me about the drug, and I Googled it because, just out of curiosity. And then I got thinking, I told her, I said, look, I don't want anything. I think the drug is fine in America, but I don't want anything to mess up what we're doing. So tell them no. I said no. You will not be bringing those drugs over. And boy, did they get pissed about that. And that's why they don't talk now. That's why they don't talk to Lorelai, because she refused, because I told her to not bring that medicine or that drug to America. Do not. Honest to God. Honest to God story. Crazy as hell. Lorelai doesn't like to tell it because it sounds bad, but I don't mind telling it because I think it's funny. So they're mad because we wouldn't bring drugs over, and that's just the way it is. And people in the Philippines get mad easy. Filipinos get mad. When we were living in the Philippines, we had a birthday party for me. And I wanted it just small, 10, 12 people. And we did have a lot of big feast, right? And Lorelai invited another relative that I met one time. And he was going to, and I thought that's great. I like to talk to him. He's a nice old guy. Well, then all of a sudden, there's like 10 or 12 other people that were going to be coming along if he comes. And I said, I don't want 50 people in this tiny ass little house. No, I'm too stressed as it is. And that group of people got mad at Lorelai and haven't talked to her either. Pat says, oh man, Henry has to go pee again. Good story. You like it, Pat? They sure do. Nisha's in the house. Super student Nisha's in the house. Everybody put down your TVs and pay attention and tell Nisha hello. So Nisha, how are you? I think Lorelai messaged you. She's at work right now. But I think she messaged you so that we can get that those funds, those Canadian dollars transferred to you. So we're working on that. She needs to help you, or you need, I don't know. You guys need to figure it out. I don't have a clue. So, but you're going to get the money one way or the other. Got it? It may take a day or two, but you're going to get some money for whatever to spend on yourself in the Philippines. Thanks to Dennis. And, thank you, Dennis. We need that. We're still raising funds for school supplies. If anybody wants to donate to our PayPal account and or super chatting here. So I got a target goal of 5 super chats tonight. A new thing on YouTube told me to do. I don't know. I would check later. I too don't have any clue. Well, and that's fine. We're going to figure it out. Whether you or your mom has PayPal or Cash App or Zillow or whatever, we are going to figure it out. If I got to put it in a sealed envelope, package envelope, and put it in DLH, is that the yellow people, the yellow courier, or FedEx, we'll get it to you. If we got to do that, I'll go to the bank, pull out the cash, stick it in there, and we'll ship it to you. One way or the other, you're going to get it. Oh, nice, Dennis. Nisha saying thank you. Carrier pigeons, yes. We can do carrier pigeons. But, but that's the Lorelai and I story, but they don't like us. They don't have anything, which is okay. They're just users, right? But to ask me for money because they introduced Lorelai and I, it tells you what they are, right? Nisha, first of all, I have to tell you got to tell your mom and dad, I am so sure they won't believe me. I know. They will think it's a fraud. I know. They're going to think it's a hustle. But it's not. I promise. I promise. We just got to figure it out. We can send it to your dad or your mom for you, whichever they prefer. We can do it, and it's going to be real money. And if they want to FaceTime Lorelai and I sometime on Facebook and talk about it, we're happy to do that, Nisha, okay? We don't have a problem. If they want to, message, face message, is that what it's called? I don't know. On the Facebook stuff, just to clarify, we're happy to do it. Or if they wanted to send to I don't know if you guys have P.O. boxes in India. If you want to send to an independent P.O. box, we can do whatever you want. So, Dennis says, great story. Well, thank you, Dennis. Appreciate that. Because, it worked out, right? I mean, and there was something else. They try to cause trouble. Holy crap, and smoking butt farts. Dennis lighten up the scale. Another fraud. It's for super student Nisha. Woo, wait, Nisha. You're rocking and rolling tonight. Mom and Dad's going to be going, well, what are you doing, Nisha? What are you doing? What are you promising them young boys? Old men. But there was another thing that came up that I'm not going to talk about the detail, that they ratted Lorelai. They thought they were ratting Lorelai out about her job or something so that I would break up with her and not have anything to do with her. And they didn't realize that I already knew. Lorelai already told me in the very beginning. Because we talked about, and this is what I tell you guys, you got to have open dialogue. You got to spill the beans, all the good, all the bad, all the ugly, right? You got to do that with your woman folk. And Lorelai and I did that. So, a few months into this, when they were all mad at us, they tried to do something on Facebook. They tried to blast Lorelai as a bad person on Facebook and stuff. And and jealousy. Nisha says, thanks, that's a lot, so much. Right now, I'm helping my mom cleaning nice. Well, it's a good time to tell your mom. If you're helping her clean, say, Mom, you know what? I got to have a conversation with you. I've been checking out, my friend Lorelei. Well, they got some money, Canadian dollars. We're going to get it. We got some money coming, honey. So, ooh, she's making food. I like Indian food. Not too spicy, though. Not too spicy, but I like Indian food. What? Who people? Oh, Lorelei's family many years ago when we got started talking online and through Facebook. Her family was jealous and didn't like me. So even though they introduced us, and so they tried to cause some grief between us to break us up, and it just didn't work. So I know it's always spicy. I know, but you can dial it down to like -1. That's what I like. So, but I like Indian food. I do. I like the flatbread. I don't know what it's called, but I like the flatbread. So, but yeah, if your mom's there, say, Mom, I got to tell you a secret. I got something to tell you. So that's kind of crazy, but that's our little story. I don't know if you guys have any weird stories like that. And yeah, I can't pronounce it right. Naan, is it pronounced naan or nan? But I like the bread. I like the bread. Yeah, or chapatai. Chapatai? Dennis is probably laughing at my pronunciations. So, but then that's what we did. Then we went to the Philippines and did the engagement thing, and like I said, we are a success story in many ways. And if you follow my lead, if you're interested in dating and getting married, it can happen. So is Banyo still here? Did she ever answer my question about Filipina girls? It's normal, Nisha, to be honest. Dennis can tell you, Pat can tell you, everybody can tell you that interference is pretty normal in our worlds. I don't know about India and stuff, but here it's not uncommon for family to want to mess things up, to stick their nose in, or to take credit for something, or to, meddle in your business. It's pretty common. It's pretty common here. It's not a good thing. It's just common. And we know a lot of people have had that. And that's why one thing that I tell people, and I used to tell my dad when he was alive, because my dad wasn't a great guy, and he was always borrowing money because I don't know why. He made okay money and didn't have many bills. But he was always borrowing money from my grandparents. And then he would get mad because my grandparents would say, well, what did you do with the money I gave you last week or the week before? I thought you were buying this for the house for my daughter and blah, 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 and her kids, because my dad had 2 kids with a lady, nice lady. So, and and they got married when I was young. So her mom and dad became my grandparents, and I took care of them to the very end. So looked out for them in many, many ways. But I used to tell my dad, I said, well, then quit borrowing money. If you don't like the fact that they're saying, hey, where did that $50 go that I gave you? Then don't borrow it. And so Nisha and everybody else who's listening in the background, that's one rule I have with Lorelei. When Lorelei came to America, Dennis will appreciate me leading this. One rule I have when Lorelei got here to make sure is we never take more than we give. We go to parties, dinners, events. We give, and we take less than we give. We never are selfish and piggish. We always pay our own way when we go to dinner, period. If we go with a group of people, we pay our own way. We pay our own way in every way. If there's work to be done in the group, we do work. We contribute. And I think it's extremely important to do that. And Nisha says, that's horrible. Why would they do that? Yeah, just because they're jerks. Oh, yes, you're right. That's right. Yeah. So when Lorelai came here and we started, living together and got married and all that stuff, that's one thing I pointed out. I said, look, somebody's going to do a favor for us. We got to repay it. But first and foremost, we don't ask for favors. We try to do it ourselves. And if we can't do it ourselves, then I will ask for favors or offer to pay. So, and Lorelai gets that, she believes that, and we do that. When she goes to Filipino parties here, she brings home a lot less, because we don't need it for one, and it just go to waste, than she takes. She gives more than she takes, and that's the life that we want to live. Ah, good. So she's still here. She says, yes, I am still here listening to you guys, you handsome men. Huh. So how many, I forgot to ask, or did I ask? Now you have a big Facebook group or something, right? Oh, by the way, everybody, if you haven't followed Lorelai's Facebook blog, I got to make sure I get that plug in here. Lorelai's trying to grow her Facebook blog, Lorelai's blog on Facebook. So if anybody can help her grow her blog, I would appreciate it. I need everybody to go to that and watch her reels and make fun of me, because I'm on some of them. So Nisha says, handsome man. Well, you must be. I think you wear glasses, don't you? Pat says, yep, already did. Yeah, I know you did. I know you did. So, Babano, I was going to ask you about women in the Philippines, because I'm guesstimating, and don't slap me if I'm wrong, that you're probably between 35 and 40. So, why do you think Filipino women like foreigners so much? What do you think? Is it because Filipino men suck? Or is it because the hopes and dreams of getting out of poverty, so to speak? I mean, which do you think? What do you think? Yes, I do. So, but that's one thing that we do. And so therefore, we never ask for favors. If we do, we repay them without question. We carry our own load. We keep to ourselves, mind our own business. One thing I am very proud of is, unless you ask me to, I don't stick my nose in your business. Lorelai doesn't either. Now, the problem is, if you ask me, you're going to get an honest answer whether you like it or not. And we get a lot of people that message Lorelai and I and say, hey, we're a Filipino couple and we're struggling and we've been married a year and this and that, and or my wife is pregnant now and or this or that, we've been here 5 years and she's lonely and scared. She wants to go back to America, to the Philippines. We get all of it. We do. And we're happy to have it. We like it. We like helping. It makes us feel like we're worthy people. So it's a good thing, right? So we get a lot of that. But a lot of people don't like the answers we give them. And I tell them up front, you're probably not going to like the answers I give you, but I'm going to give you my honest opinion, and so will Lorelai. And and sometimes I have to tell Lorelai, be nice, give your opinion, but say it nicely. Don't, it's okay to be nice. Let's be nice. And we've had many of them get mad at us, tell us that, and unsubscribe and not like us and tell us we're horrible. But that's it. We've had YouTubers, Dennis knows very well, one in particular. I don't know where he's at or what he's doing. But, I helped him as much as I could. He always claimed to be stuck in the Philippines and, abandoned in the Philippines. His poor rich mother, his rich mother abandoned him in the Philippines. And I try to give him all kinds of ways to make money in the Philippines, how to do things, how to get out of the Philippines and back to America. But all he really wanted to do was sit in his chair and drink. And I finally told him that, so why bother to help you? There's no more advice that I can give you because you don't want the advice. And that's one thing you got to understand. If you're going to help people, if you're going to advise people, they got to be willing to take the advice. The horse has to be willing to drink. You can lead them to the water, but that doesn't mean they're going to drink. Very important message there, guys. That's why I give my opinion, I give my thoughts, and then I back off. If you don't like it, that's okay. So, I don't know. What do you guys think? Do you guys do a lot of counseling? You know, I feel like sometimes I'm a professional life coach. I just don't charge. But yes, let's start the GoFundMe for Jack. Yeah, exactly. GoFundMe for, yeah. He still messages me. I just don't answer them because I don't want to get involved. I don't know if his channel's going or what he's doing, Dennis. And I haven't seen Anthony in a long time. I don't think he's doing Friday mornings anymore. I don't think. And Kiko's disappeared. I haven't seen Kiko in a long time now. So I don't know if he's mad at us or. One time I talked to Kiko and talked to him about, because he said he was kind of bored, you know, and needed, and I told him, I encouraged him, hey, you're a smart guy. You're still able to go contribute to society. So go do that so that you're not sad or miserable. Let's see. That's a good thing. That's right. Yes, let's start. Yeah, GoFundMe. I need a GoFundMe account for my mobility scooter is what I need. I need to start a GoFundMe account for that or my beach house. So, who is Jack? Nisha's asking. I'll tell you. I'll explain it. Dennis, take my advice. Don't use it. That's it. Take my advice, but don't use it. Bano, poverty may be is the main reason. So, Bano, about the question about why poverty. They want to get out of poverty. So, I don't disagree. I think it's a motivation. But I tell American men or foreign men that that's okay. Women in countries like the Philippines, them having a desire to get out of their country because of the poverty and the lack of opportunity, there's nothing wrong with that. Absolutely not. Now, you got to be careful about the red flags and the gold diggers and blah, 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 blah. But there's nothing wrong. I think everybody should try to do whatever they got to do to better themselves, as long as it's not illegal. Whatever it takes to better yourself. So, yes, John says, red flags, yes, Pat. Yep, I'm back, Henry says. All right, Nisha, Jack is a guy that has a YouTube channel. He's an American. He lives in the Philippines. Apparently his mother is filthy rich, and they tricked him to go live in the Philippines. So he lives there. He has a YouTube channel, but he's a bad alcoholic. And what else can I say, Dennis? Am I missing something? He's a really bad alcoholic, low-functioning person. He's not a dumb guy at all. He's just low-functioning, and he's an alcoholic. And he's always needing somebody to send him money, give him money, because he hates his mother. I mean, that's the whole, it's my mother's done me wrong. She won't give me any money. Mama used to give me $1,000 a month when I first got here. Now she doesn't give me anything. Pity party after one after the other. Pity party is when you just bitch and complain and want somebody else to fix your problem. And there's been a lot of people that have tried to help him. But what we're all coming to realize is we can't help him because he doesn't want help. He's getting what he wants. This is what he wants. He wants to be this person. He wants to be in that situation because I flatly told him if you didn't, you wouldn't be there because everybody's giving you ways of out. So Pat says, that's right. Yep, Nisha says, Dennis, do you agree with that? I mean, is that a decent assessment? I don't know. But we e-beg. We're e-beggars. I'm looking for somebody to give me $5 million. Or I'm looking for a whole bunch of people that will give me $5 million. so that I can buy a $2.5 million waterfront house and put the other $2.5 million in investments. So I'm an e-bagger myself, and but he does the pathetic, right, Dennis? Is that be a good word? Pathetic e-bagging to a T. So sounds a lot like most of my family that I never see now. Yes, yes, right. Because he, I'm just telling you, you know, he's happy. That's his stick. That's his, and look, and I've known a lot of people like this over the years because long before YouTube got involved, I did a lot of counseling and a lot of work with people. You guys couldn't imagine the crap I did, where I've been, what I've done, and who I used to know. And one thing I learned is people, it's the individual that can change their stars, right? You can change your stars. You can change your stars, but nobody else can do it for you. You have to do it. But a lot of people don't want to change their stars. They just want to bitch and complain. They just want to beg and make people try to feel bad for them because they're where they're at. But they like that. They accept it. They like the drama, and he's one of those. I don't know. So, but there's a lot of YouTubers that are bad YouTubers. I'm probably one of the lower class ones. So there's a lot of good YouTubers, to be honest. I think there's a lot of ones that are not good. Right now, I think my channel is probably one of the most active. I feel like I'm always online now trying to grow the channel and work it. So Henry says, I'm not greedy. I just want $500,000 and be good with that. So Henry, by stating your statement, I'm not greedy. I just want $500,000 and we'll be good with that. Are you indicating by your statement that I am greedy? Is that what you're doing? I did a short video about that, about announcing that I lied to everybody about the $5 million. In the beginning, I was, lying, telling everybody that I was just going to buy a $5 million beach house. But the truth was, I was going to split the money up, buy a house, and then put the rest in investments to pay the taxes and insurance. So I was a big fibber on the internet. So I'm an internet liar now. So, maybe, but you never know. Look, the other thing I'll say this, in all seriousness, you never know. And here's an example. Nisha, who's my wife's friend, she's a great little friend. She's a student in India. There's somebody in this chat that has been very generous to her just because she's a good student and she's the type of person that will pay it forward. She didn't expect any of that. I can tell and she never ever envisioned coming to the live stream to hang out with Lorelai would turn into this. I know she didn't, never expected that. So you never know. So I joke and kid about a beach house, but you never know. Somebody may take pity on me. I don't know. You just don't know. Somebody might take pity and help me get a new mobility scooter, which is crazy because I need a different one. But you know what I mean? You don't know what's going to happen. So I never expect anybody to give me a beach house or money to buy one. I don't expect that. But what if they did? What if they came along and said, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I don't know. You don't know what's going to happen. So Nisha says, it was the most shocking thing ever to receive those financial gifts. See? And, you're going to enjoy it. And you just came to hang out with Lorelai. And I know your parents are going to freak out about the money. They're going to truly think it's a scam from America and Canada. We are known for scamming people. America is, and obviously, American government's known for scamming the American citizens. But we'll get it figured out. Yes, they will for sure. So, yeah, you and Lorelai just work it out, and whatever we got to do to make it happen, we will. But so I think so. Henry didn't answer my question. He kind of laughed at me, but that's for sure. Bano's in the Philippines. How much money would you like to have if somebody said, "Young lady, I see that you have a couple of kids, blah blah blah. I would give you if they said an amount because you live in the Philippines, you're going to live in the Philippines, you're going to live there, raise your kids. How much money, like Henry is asking just for $500,000, how much money do you think would be good for the rest of your life? How much would it set you up to where you never have to worry again?" And I think that should be everybody's goal. Everybody's financial goal should be get to where they have no worries. No worries anymore. That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to get our finances squared away so that when I die, which will happen, that Lorelai truly will be taken care of. And I say truly too much. She really will be taken care of. She will be taken care of financially. Henry says, yeah, the kids I've been helping was so amazed getting things that you helped them get. Yeah. That's why we did the rice thing, and we had a lot of donations from a lot of different people to help us with the rice. The school supplies that we've gotten. Dennis has donated. Alexandra has donated, and we've had a couple other people send us a little bit of money. So we appreciate anything that people send us, without question. And we'll do school supplies and keep working on that. And we were targeting 10 kids. I think we've already passed that. I think now because what we're trying to do is get them their whole school supplies. And they're going to be looking at if they need new backpacks, if they need school uniforms, or not only the pencils and the notebooks and stuff like that. We're looking at getting them school supplies for the year that they truly too much, that they need. So that's what we're doing and why we're doing it. And I think we're gonna, by the time we're done fundraising, I think we're gonna be able to do that to help them out. And we're happy to do that. We've been doing this for years. We just never talked about it on the internet. We've been doing different stuff over the years many of times. And we've sent bulk buy-on boxes to people full of stuff for them to have because they needed things. So, Brother David, have you heard about Operation Smile in the Philippines? No, I have not heard about it being in the Philippines, but I've heard about it being in other countries where the dentists and the plastic surgeons go to work on cleft lips and things like that. Is that what you're talking about? That's the one I know. I don't have to worry now, but it would be nice to do more traveling. Yeah. Well, and that's what I talk about being rich. What is your rich, right? My rich is this. My rich isn't $100 million, even though I wouldn't turn it down. My rich is to be completely debt-free, living in a place that I enjoy, and being able to travel when I want to travel, and Lorelai not having to work. If I could pull that off, that's all I want out of life. No debt, money to travel, a nice place to live where I can just enjoy my life and go fishing a lot. That to me, I would be very, very rich if I had that. I don't have a pet. Yeah, that's it. Okay. All right. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't know they were in the Philippines. It wouldn't surprise me, to be honest. But I didn't know they were there. I've never seen anything about it in the Philippines. So, let me say this. The immigration laws, they're just cleaning up their act. They're trying to make it better. So I know I talked about that the other night. Don't stress over the immigration stuff in the Philippines. Everything's going okay. I get briefings every day from the consulate. I read all of that stuff. And I try to pass it on to my support group. Do you guys know my support group? Does anybody know my support group? Hang on. I try to create a support group Let me see if I can find it. Or let me know. How do I get to Facebook? Where's Lorelai when I need her? Groups. Am I in here? I hope. I'm gonna show you. Here it is. I got 36 members on this group. I'll put it in the chat. And what I do with this, and I'm trying to get it to grow. Yeah, Pat, it would be a good thing to help out with anything in the Philippines. But just a cautionary flag, we don't believe in helping out charities. We're very careful, and we do help charities, but what I mean by that is we know the people that run it. We know it's not going in their pocket. So we know that. We know we go to the source where it's needed, to the head of the snake, so to speak, or the tail of the snake. I don't know what it is. But we don't like the trickle down thing. We don't do the trickle down. You know, we go to the source that's need help. Bano says, oh, on my own, I spend more than 500 pesos a day, all in all, to buy food, fare, and my kids' meds. Okay, $500 a day. I'm sorry, 500 pesos a day. That's not, well, I know it's a lot for you, and I don't mean to trivialize that. I don't. But I get it. I know in the Philippines that's a lot. So, and it's probably a hardship. But yeah, we got a support group. Maybe I can turn the phone around and let you guys see. See, I built this support group where I put all kinds of stuff. When I get stuff from the consulate, special announcements about immigration, American stuff, relationship, business stuff, military stuff. I put on there some of the things that happens in Florida and Texas. So the advisories, I do all of this. And I read all of this stuff. So that's my Facebook group. And I would like for people to go to it and do the same thing. They can also just ask questions. And, you know, if you got questions about the Philippines, or if you want to bitch a little bit, it's okay to do it, you know. But that's a group that we started a while back. Pat says, right, I agree. Dennis is asking you, Bano, how many kids? I think she has 2 kids, but he's asking you if you'll answer how many kids you have. So, yeah, I don't have any kids, by the way, Dennis. What was that? I forgot what I was talking about now. So anyway, that's my vision of being rich, right? But our Lorelai's trying to grow her Facebook. I got that group where I want to share real knowledge that can help people. So, and he's asking if you're supporting them on your own. So I don't know. Hang on, I gotta adjust something here. I have 3 kids, and I also live on my parents. That way, when I buy our food, of course, that includes my parents. Sometimes my niece will also stay at our house. Got a house full then. Nisha, wow, big group, big family. A lot of big family families in the Philippines. Yeah, there's a lot of, Karen, who is Bano's sister-in-law, who's married to John Ray, that's her brother. They got a couple of girls at their place too. So they usually, you know, the Filipino family unit is big and it's extended family, which is not a bad thing to have extended family. Dennis, yes, I'm the only one supporting my kids' needs and wants. So, yeah. What do you do to make money? That's a good question. What do you do to make money? I'm married. Yeah, that's curious. Because when we were living in the Philippines, we met a bunch of people that really didn't seem to do anything, and I was always curious. How did they pay their bills? How did they make it? You know what I mean? And it's not a slight to the Filipino people or anything like that. It's not meant to that, but it never seemed like some of them. Not I mean, I met people that it just didn't seem like maybe they did things that I never saw them do, but I knew a few of them that lived in our neighborhood, and I'm just like, I wonder what they do because they don't do anything. And now I understand the females that are living on their own with the kids and the husband's a seaman. I get that. That I understand. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the guys, that never seem to do anything but wander around. Filipinos are family oriented. Yes, they are. Nisha, I see on YT, most homes in India have servants. Is that true? Oh, that's a good question, Dennis. So Nisha, Lorelai said Nisha has a pretty house. But that's a good question. Do you guys have a servant, or is that true? That's a good question. It's in the cities, Dennis, not in the villages. Okay, so may I ask Nisha, what are they called? Like in the Philippines, they're called yayas. So if you have a house caretaker type person, housekeeper, whatever, they're called yayas in the Philippines. Is there a name like that for them in India? I'm just kind of curious about that. Yes, we have a big family. I have 5 siblings, and they are already married. But my niece and nephews like to stay at our house sometimes. That's good. I mean, the nieces and the nephews, they can help out and be a part of the group and part of the fun and do some of the work. So, that's a good thing. Put the kids to work. I don't know how old they are, but put them to work. That's what I say. I work as an attendant in clothing print. Ah, okay. So you work like in a place that prints things on shirts? Is that what you mean? Like a T-shirt, and you're going to print a thing on it that says David is the greatest in the world? Is that what you do? I see many families would have 3 or 4 helpers. Wow. How much would how much would a helper cost? That's a good question too, Dennis. That's very curious. We can't afford a helper in America, and they'd probably steal us blind. So, okay. All right. So they're just called a servant. If it's a man and a woman, it's a maid. All right. That's interesting. I mean, that's kind of I don't know what we call them in America. I really don't. What do we call them in America? What would your servant or maid, what would your maid be called in America? A maid? A housekeeper? caretaker. We have caretakers who take care of old people. So we do have those. A lot of them work for like insurance companies and things, and they come in and take care of old people. But I wonder what we call those because I'm not rich enough to afford help in America. You know, it probably costs you $25 an hour to get a maid in America. So, but in the Philippines, they're called yayas, right? How about you, Dennis? Do you have that type of person in Canada land? And are they called anything different besides servant or maid? I mean, do you guys have those? What about Mexico? Dennis says they would make about 500 rupees a day. Okay. Wow. The helpers, Dennis, like the people who are doing cleaning, work in the house. Yes. Yeah. Yep. 500 is way too much. You sound like Lorelai when we were in the Philippines. You know, we would order food and, you know, and it'd be like 80 pesos. I'd give them 100 pesos or, you know, 200 pesos. And Lorelai like, oh my God, you're giving them too much money. You're overpaying them. I'm like, you know, I don't care. So, yeah, Dennis is asking because he doesn't know. And I don't know either. And we find it curious. Because in the Philippines, it's real common too. Even some of the poorer people have yayas. So it is pretty common in the Philippines. Because that would be 10 Canadian per day. That 100, yeah. Yeah, we'd probably have to pay $100 here a day too. Seriously, yeah, it'd probably be $100 a day, Dennis, in America. But I find it interesting, the language, what people are named and what they're called. There's a maid who works in a maternal uncle's house who lives in the city. They give her 1,000 per month. Wow. No, 100 rupees. Wow. Huh. That sounds fairly cheap from an American standpoint, Nisha. Sounds really cheap. You know, I mean, really cheap. 1,000 rupees, man. That would be maybe $20, Dennis, roughly $25. 1,000 rupees. So that's about Filipino wage for a housekeeper person. You know. So 60, yeah, okay. Yeah. Crazy, right? Why can't we have that in America? I wonder. 2 Canadian, yeah, that's a steal, right, Dennis? You and I would sign up for that every day of the week, right? Can you, I don't know if anybody knows this. I've asked this before and I'm always curious. Can we hire a maid from another country? So is there like a way that I could hire a live-in housekeeper like from the Philippines or Thailand or wherever? Is that something you can do in America? Where they come through a work visa, you know? Nisha says, I don't know how they manage. Well, that's a secret to life, Nisha, how to manage. And when you don't have much, you learn how to manage. You really do. Exactly, yes. So, yes, you could if you're disabled or older. I could hire one like through an agency to come take care of me. I mean, it wouldn't happen because Lorelai. But I'm just curious if I had the money, like my rich friends, could he go to an agency or something and say, I would like to have a Filipina come be my live-in maid. I wonder if you could do that, like a teacher thing, you know, that work visa. Everybody says, yes, you could do that. I wonder how much it would cost, though. So would you have to pay the agency a bunch of money, and then you would probably have to pay the wages to the housekeeper, Would you pay them in Filipino money ratio or American ratio? So if you had to pay them American dollars, you couldn't afford. So, I just wonder because, with labor laws in America, man, you got to be careful because, you'd have to pay her at least minimum wage per hour, right? In America, or they would punish you and beat you and hang you up to dry. So you'd have to do some, I don't know how that would work financially. Need only of medical care and not maid. So you could hire a nurse from the Philippines. Is that what you're kind of saying? And they could come and live with you? Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I'm just curious. Because I got this friend, that I know that's really wealthy, and he's really old, and the people who take care of him don't want to take care of him anymore. They're ready to move on to another chapter of their life. And I suggested, hey, why don't you see if he could just bring one over because he likes Filipinas, because he's married to one. Why don't you just bring one over through an agency? Because he's old. Yep, I was also thinking the same, Dennis. Yes, about 35 per hour. Yeah, pricey. And live in this person would have to live there. Obviously, if you brought somebody from another country, I would think they would have to live, in the house. So, because what else, where are they going to live? I mean, it's going to be hard for them to get an apartment. It's not like when Lorelai's sisters got here from the Philippines. When she got here from the Philippines, the agency had an apartment set up for all these teachers to live in. So if you only brought one person over to be a live-in maid at your mansion, well, she would just live there. All right, Nisha, remember Lorelai's going to work with you to get you some money. So we appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and take care. Yeah, that's kind of what I mean, right? Because I was thinking, why don't he do that? He likes Filipina. Now, I don't know if his wife would like it, because she's Filipina, and you know how that works. But the people that are taking care of him now are ready to move on to the next chapter of their lives. And, I don't know. But now Lorelai's sister lives alone because she couldn't get along with anybody. In the community house, she couldn't get along with people. So now she lives by herself in a little bitty apartment that she pays double the rent on than she did when she lived in the community house. So that's where she's living at now, all by herself. So, and paying double the rent. But hey, whatever. I just kind of wondered about that because I told them a while back, hey, why don't you talk to him and suggest to him that maybe they bring a boy over, a man, a Filipino guy, or maybe a Thailander guy or a Japanese guy. I don't know. Maybe they would be better served with a boy versus a girl. I don't know. I know they look after him, and I don't know, kind of interesting. So I don't really know. I guess I don't know. I'm just curious. What, Lily? I would have to have a live-in maid that would take care of my dogs. I'd have to have somebody that would pet my dogs all the time. All right, Lily, that's gross. Stop. But all right. So we've covered a lot of ground tonight. We know Henry has a girlfriend. We know Dennis has lots of girlfriends. We know Nisha's going to school. We know Pat is talking to a young lady that he's excited, and I think she's excited. We tried to market Lorelai's Facebook stuff to help her out. What else did we do tonight? Dennis raised some money for Nisha, which is very nice. And a whole bunch of other people in there. Joy to the world. Yeah, they chatted a little bit last night, and I think it went well. Dennis, I have high hopes if they. I think they're compatible. They got to figure all that out as time goes here. But I think, Lily, I'm not giving you any food. Hey, I'm not giving you any food. You don't need to eat. You need to lose weight. You're fat. The doctor said you were fat. Yeah, he did. So yeah, hopefully that will work out. So, all right, my friends, it's almost 9:30. Been on here for quite a while. We did some good things. So I'm gonna wind this down and go give my monsters a little treat. I guess they think when I'm on the computer, when I get off, they should get a treat, is what they think. So, Dennis, we appreciate you. Pat, we appreciate you. Mano, we appreciate you. Nisha has already gone, but everybody, thank you all for being here. And hopefully we'll see you guys tomorrow. So take care and enjoy.